Defensive behavior and addiction. Here's a question. Do you enjoy asking others for help? If your answer is no, well, you're like most people. Asking strangers for help is very difficult. We Americans love our independence, and many of us are raised to believe in an individual's power to change the world on their own. Asking for help, even if we really need it, can feel a little like defeat. Defense mechanisms can protect us in some cases, but in active addiction, our natural urge to defend ourselves from outside actors and reality can turn very dangerous. Addiction is a medical problem that often turns deadly, and defensiveness can be a severe hurdle in the way of life-saving treatment. What is defensiveness? A lot of ways of describing defensive behaviors, but basically, defensive behaviors is a set of behaviors that helps us protect ourselves from events, thoughts, and actions that we find unpleasant. Defensiveness isn't always bad. Sublimation is a form of defensiveness that channels the energy from negative thoughts and feelings into positive actions, like exercise. Emotions like shame and guilt make us feel very defensive. Unfortunately, shame and guilt are also part of addiction. Defensiveness helps protect and remove us from those unpleasant emotions. There are a lot of defensive behaviors, but there's three big ones. Denial is when we refuse to accept facts or reality because it's unpleasant. Rationalization is attempting to find reasons that justify drug and alcohol use. And finally, projection is a form of defensiveness that places blame on anything but the individual. There's additional defensive behaviors, but again, these are the most common, especially when it involves addiction. Why is defensiveness so common in addiction? One of the more insidious ways addiction harms us is it makes us downplay what's really going on. When a loved one confronts us about how bad our situation has gotten, we say we use a lot less than it seems. That way things aren't really that bad. And perhaps most famously, we can quit whenever we want. For many, drugs and alcohol form a kind of psychic insulation. They help deal with the pain of past trauma, they help numb unpleasant emotions, and they help keep reality at bay. Unfortunately, drugs stop being this fairly quickly, making us take larger and larger amounts of them to feel the same effects. And this in turn leads to addiction, where we're taking drugs simply to feel normal. Here's another reason defensiveness and addiction are connected. Recovery can be hard work. Part of leaving addiction behind is admitting vulnerably, finding the strength to admit we're powerless over our problems, being able to put ourselves into the care of others, and finally take on the full weight of everything that's happened to us. Recovery means owning the things we did in active addiction. It means being accountable for all the choices and decisions we made and how those choices and decisions affected others. It also means this is how we're going to live the rest of our lives too. This isn't an easy thing for anyone to accept, and if you've ever had a person in your life who struggled with addiction, you can kind of see why they're defensive about their behaviors too. But addiction is often a literal life and death struggle. And helping someone break down their defensiveness and get help is part of the process. I'm Jeremy Arzt, and during my time at the Edge Treatment Center, I've seen a lot of people achieve genuine, lasting change moments in their lives. And as a licensed therapist, I know how hard it can be to help someone break down their defensiveness. But I've also seen how rewarding it is. If you're struggling with a loved one in active addiction, reach out to the Edge Treatment Center today at 844-590-0403. Our team can give you advice, direct you to resources, and even reach out to your loved one. There's a better life out there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.